it's one of those experiences, they say you have to see it to believe it. Like what does jackfruit taste like? Well, it's hard to explain. Ripe jackfruit or whatever. So different analogies are given. So you have to taste it to understand it. So just like what is the taste of the meditators, the jnanis and meditative yogis are just sitting there in one place, totally silent. But they're relishing some inner bliss, some atmananda. They're just meditating maybe on one object, a flame of a candle, or the spot between their eyes, the trikuti, the point between the eyebrows. So we can also do that, and at the same time, between the eyebrows, we put the form of Radha and Krishna inside our mind, and we worship them with the silent chanting of their mantra. And then from that form, then there the lilas will start to unfold, because the concentration point for all the mental energy, for all the manovritti, all the thought waves, all the myriad thought waves, millions and unlimited manovritti, thought waves and thought impulses, they're all controlled by the center point of the trikuti, which means the point between the two eyebrows is called madhya bru. Krishna himself is describing meditation in the Bhagavad Gita in 6th chapter, and he says madhya bru. Bru, B-H-R-U in Sanskrit means brow, eyebrow. We say eyebrow in English, B-R-O-W. So madhya means the point. So the yogis fix their gaze on the madhya bru. So we're also yogis. But so someone might say, oh, you're mixing yoga with bhakti. No, it's not mixing yoga, it's mixing sattvic principles. These are sattvic principles. Meditation is sattvic. A sattvic diet is sattvic. Sitting straight is sattvic. Oh, why are you sitting straight to chant japa? Just this way, that way. No, you have to sit straight, otherwise you can't sit for a long time. You have to have a strong back, chant, or sit in chair, whatever.